Bartholomew the bee was the buzziest, fuzziest, most zigzaggy bee in the world. His wings went bizz bizz whiz, faster than you can say bumbleberry jam. One sunny morning, Bartholomew zoomed over a big green hedge and discovered a garden bursting with color. Red flowers shouted hello, yellow flowers giggled, and blue flowers whispered to the sky. Bartholomew buzzed with excitement. Wowzers! This is the place for a bee like me! He zipped and dipped, a tiny stripy rocket among petals. He greeted a tall sunflower and looped around tulips standing like little soldiers. The garden was a playground, a feast, and an adventure all in one. The sweet smell of nectar made his tummy rumble. "Time for a snack," he declared. He dove into a big fluffy pink peony, plonk, and slurped up delicious nectar. "Yummy in my tummy," he buzzed, words muffled by the flower. Suddenly a tiny voice interrupted. "Ahem, you are a very noisy eater." Bartholomew peeked over a petal and saw two big googly eyes. It was a plump green caterpillar munching nearby. "I am not noisy, I am an enthusiastic eater," Bartholomew replied. The caterpillar giggled. "My name is Colin, and you are a very, very buzzy bee." Bartholomew puffed out his chest. "The buzziest! I'm Bartholomew!" The two new friends grinned at each other, ready for whatever the garden had in store. And so, Bartholomew's big adventure began. Colin the caterpillar asked, "Are you here to join the wobbly worm wiggle?" Bartholomew's antennae twitched. "What's that? Does it involve buzzing?" "No buzzing needed, just wobbling." Colin pointed to a patch of earth where worms danced a silly, squiggly dance. Wendy the worm led the way. "Wiggle left, jiggle right, pretend you're a floppy noodle." Bartholomew laughed, but felt a little sad. Bees don't wiggle like worms, Wendy noticed. "Why the long face? Come join the wiggle." "I can't, I don't have a wobbly body, I have wings and knees, not much for wiggling." Wendy smiled. "Everyone can wiggle in their own way, just feel the wobble in your heart." Bartholomew listened. He felt the happy rhythm of the garden and his new friends. He buzzed his wings in a wobbly pattern. Bzzz, wobble, bzzz, and jiggled his bee bottom in the air. The worms cheered. Colin clapped by banging his head on his leaf. Bartholomew was doing the buzzy bee wobble. He was part of the wobbly worm wiggle after all, and it felt wonderful. The garden echoed with laughter and wobbles. Bartholomew realized you don't have to be the same to join the fun. Sometimes you just need to try. The worms welcomed him as one of their own. Bartholomew's heart buzzed with joy. The adventure was just getting started. After wobbling, Bartholomew zipped to a patch of poppies and heard a grumpy voice. "It's gone! My spot is gone!" cried a ladybird named Lucy, looking very cross. Bartholomew landed nearby. "Is everything all right?" Lucy turned to show her back. "I'm supposed to have 7 spots, my favorite one is missing," Bartholomew declared. "Don't worry, I'm the best spot finder in the garden, we'll find it," Lucy sniffled. "I was stretching on this leaf, then it was gone." Bartholomew searched under the leaf on the petals and even asked an ant, but no luck. He thought hard. "A spot can't just walk away." Then he spotted a glistening drop of sap nearby. "Lucy, did you stretch near that sticky sap?" Lucy gasped. "Yes, I did!" They hurried over, and there it was, stuck fast in the golden goo-one perfect black ladybird spot. Lucy beamed with hope. The friends had found the missing spot, but a new challenge was about to begin. Bartholomew grinned, ready to help again. The garden was full of surprises. Teamwork would be needed once more. The adventure continued. Lucy's spot was stuck in the sap, really stuck. She tried to pull it, but her legs slipped. Bartholomew's wings just made a sticky sound. Colin and Wendy arrived. "We need water," Wendy declared. Bartholomew spotted a big shimmering puddle nearby. "Over there!" Wendy dug a channel from the puddle to the leaf. Colin pushed a sturdy leaf boat into place. Lucy supervised, shouting encouragement. Bartholomew became the official water splasher. He dipped in the puddle, then shook water droplets onto the sticky spot. Splash, splish, splash. Soon, the sap softened. With one final splash, the spot popped free. Lucy placed it back on her back. 7! I have all 7 again! To celebrate, everyone jumped into the puddle, splashing and laughing. Mud and joy covered them all. The grumpy ladybird was now giggly. A sticky problem had been solved with teamwork and a whole lot of silly, splashy fun. The friends cheered for their success. Bartholomew felt proud of his new team. The garden was more fun with friends. The adventure was far from over. On to the next challenge. As the friends dried off, they heard a slow, sad sigh from the lettuce patch. A snail named Stanley was stuck between 2 leaves, unable to move. I miscalculated the circumference of my shell, he sighed. Bartholomew buzzed over. Let's help! Lucy, Colin, and Wendy joined in. They tried pulling and pushing, but Stanley didn't budge. It's no use. I am destined to become a permanent part of this lettuce, Stanley moaned. Bartholomew paused. Pushing and pulling wasn't working. They needed a clever idea. He remembered, pollen is slippery. Wait, we don't need to pull him out, we need to make him slippery. Bartholomew rolled in a dandelion, covering himself in bright yellow pollen. He buzzed back, shaking pollen all over Stanley and the lettuce. Now try, Bartholomew encouraged. Stanley wiggled, then, shoo-oop! He slid free. The friends cheered. Stanley did a slow, happy dance. Thank you, everyone. As a thank you, I invite you all to a feast. I know where the sweetest strawberries are hiding. Bartholomew's tummy rumbled. The friends followed Stanley to a hidden patch of strawberries. The adventure was about to end with a delicious treat. But the best part was yet to come. Stanley led the friends to a patch of perfect shiny strawberries. There was enough for everyone. Bartholomew, Lucy, Colin, Wendy, and Stanley gathered around and munched happily. They shared stories and laughter. Bartholomew learned that ladybirds get ticklish feet, worms taste with their bodies, and snails can tell the weather by their shells. It was more than a feast of strawberries, it was a feast of friendship. Bartholomew looked at his friends, a worm, a caterpillar, a ladybird, and a snail. They were all different, but together they solved problems and shared adventures. Being different made them a great team. Everyone had a special skill that helped the group. Bartholomew realized that friendship was the best lesson of all. The garden was now a place of friends and fun. The day had been full of teamwork, laughter, and learning. Bartholomew's heart was full. The adventure had changed him. He knew he'd never forget this day. The sun began to set on a perfect garden day, but every ending is a new beginning. The sun dipped low, painting the sky orange and pink. The feast was over. It was time for Bartholomew to return to his hive. He said goodbye to each friend, promising to return. Come back and play tomorrow, they called. Bartholomew soared high, doing a final zigzag zoom over the garden. He thought about all he'd learned. Everyone has their own way to dance, teamwork solves any problem, and sharing with friends is the sweetest treat. Friendship, he decided, was even sweeter than nectar. The garden was now a place of adventure and friends. Bartholomew buzzed home, heart full of joy, ready for tomorrow's adventure. Bzz, bzz, whiz. And off he flew into the sweet, sleepy night.